in my own hometown. Stranger.
Howdy folks, Little John, and playing with the Robobrew again today. Doing up Pale Ale. This is just a tweaked version of what's normally my Christmas Pale Ale, but given we've got the son's wedding coming up in September, this is a beer that the family have always enjoyed, so I'm going to do a new batch of that today. So I've just got my grains milled. I'm going to throw in a little bit of rice hulls just to help with our filtering and to avoid that dreaded stuck mash. Robobrew is up to temp. I've got just over 4 kilos of grain here, so I'm going to throw in 4 handfuls of rice hulls. Don't need a huge amount. I'm going to quick mash in. Now, as I said, Robobrew, I've set it, I've got 18.5 litres in there. Works out 4.5 litres per kilo of grain to mash in, which will leave me 15.5 to sparge, which I've got heating. So I've warmed the brew up to 57, let's set it to 54, back to 56 now, so it should settle on 54, and we'll do about a 20-minute rest at 54. And I'll come up to, then I'll come up to 62 for 40 minutes. Let it rise up to 72 just with the 500 watt element on, just so it takes its time nice and slow and comes through those high 60s. I sit on the 72, I think I've got a program for 20 minutes at 72. Then I'll ramp up to 75. And once it hits 75, we'll do sit there for about 10 minutes. And we'll sparge, and we'll sparge in 78-degree water, so that's where we'll get. So let's get this in. And more pipe in. Already got bottom plate in there. Now, I have gone against the finer screen. I did have that problem. I had a problem with the first mash. I got the stuck mash, and I really, you know, in previous batches since, I really don't see the point of it. I don't think it's really going to make much difference. So I've left it out. So put the extension on here. We drop this in. Good to go. So plates in. Now I found with this handle, you've got to make sure you've got your self in the right spot, otherwise it doesn't come back out real easy. Put it in the best spot, that helps. I've got it out. Now, I don't know where my little black cap has gone off the top of the overflow pipe, so I'm going to have to go without that. Right, here it is. Now, so we pop him on there, just to stop any grain from getting through while we're mashing in. Bit by bit. So I'll put about a third of that in. So this 4.5 kilos is like the 4.5 litres to the per kilo of grain is a little bit excessive, especially compared to what you'd use on a 3V system, where you'd normally go, you know, more like 3 litres. But you've got to allow for that space underneath that bottom plate, and still have yourself enough water to effectively mash the grain. So I found that 4.5 kilos sort of works really good. It's a good sort of range. It doesn't give you a really thick mash, but it's not super thin either. It gives you enough you can work with. And hopefully you can sort of see that. That's a nice consistency. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin. And this is about the volume I went on the last run. I didn't come out alright. So. I'll just give that a good mix. Make sure we've got no dough balls. Everything's nice and wet. We'll mix nothing's. Oh, there's no big compression down there on that bottom plate at the moment. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So we'll get the top plate on, so we'll remove a little cover. Put the top plate over. Now there's those who talk about not pushing it down under the grain bed or whatnot. It's a fiddly thing to get in. Often I like to just push it so it just sits on top of that grain that is there, and that grain bed will compact anyway. But it's more to give yourself somewhere to work with. At this point we'll pop our overflow on and just leave it sitting high above the mash, because until we put the recirculation on, we're not going to really know where that's going to settle down to. So lid back on. Recirculation arm in. Hook him down. Like that. And we're good. So 55. Yeah, it's been going for 13 minutes. I've still got 17 minutes to go of that first rest at 54. Now, plenty of people don't do a 54 degree rest. I like it, particularly if I'm using lager malt. 1.7 kilos of Golden Promise, 1.3 kilos of Simpson's Special Lager Malt, so not quite a Pilsner, it's a little bit, not quite that light, and 1.1 kilos of wheat, so that's a total of 4.1 kilos. I will add a bit under 200 grams of Dex to the boil. Dry Malt Pale Ale, so that's just for a little bit of lightness in the body. Bring the alcohol up just a little bit. So it's going to be pretty light coloured, light body. So that's it, so we'll let that go now. Give it 10 minutes, come back and put the pump on and recirculate. As I said, 1900 elements off. They're only running on the 500 at the moment. And that will continue right through till we come to the boil. Okay, it's been a little over 10 minutes since we've mashed in. We're about 5 minutes off kicking up from our 54 degree rest up to our next step. So we'll get the pump on and we'll get this recirculation happening. So we only want the pump on nice and slow. take a bit for that pump to actually prime up. It should go on there good. So we'll slow that down a little bit. So you just want that nice and slow, just enough to bring that wort back up to the top. That helps, and that helps to keeps dropping the water through, recirculating through the wort, and that helps to clear the wort up as it goes. But it's also making sure we get plenty of contact with the sugars and things through there. We'll just drop that overflow down. So that's as far as it's going to go anyway. Now, in that case, we do get a little bit of blockage in the mash, then it'll flow back down that overflow, as opposed to coming up and running down over the sides of here, which then goes straight down and you start getting grains and things popping into the bottom, which we don't really want. Alright, so I'm happy enough of that, so I'll pop the lid back down. And we'll leave that to do its thing. Righto, we come to the end of the mash. I'm just raising the temperature up. So we've gone through our 70, 72, 75. So I'm about to lift the full malt pipe and let it drain so we can start sparging. Now I've switched the pump off and just got the 1900 watt element on. Now I did have to swap after we went into the machine, after we went through the 54 rest, trying to pump the 62 with just the 500 watt element. 3 minutes it didn't move, so I switched to the 1900 watt element to get that to happen. So that didn't quite go as I planned, but we've got through where we are. So I'm just going to leave the 1900 on at the moment while I sparge, and then I'll kick the 500 on as well once we want to boil. So this handle out of the way. Take out our overflow pipe. I'm just going to pop the cover back on, just so we're not getting any water going directly down that pipe. So I've got 15 litres here sitting at 75 degrees. It's actually about 78. Longer than that. And we simply pull that through, so onto the screen, just washing straight through the bed. We want to do it nice and slow. with that water sitting just there on the screen. Alright, got about a litre and a half of sparge water left. I'm going to hold on to that for the time being, because we're pretty close to full. I think I'll get it in, but I'll let this drain fully, and I'll add that just into the boil directly. I think it's still running a little bit. I'll be about that far from the top, and we're sitting on 93 degrees, so I'm not too far off hitting the boil. So everything's run through pretty smooth. And, we'll have a bit of a closer look when we come to a boil, and so we're just dealing with that. Right, are we? Okay, we're just about at a boil. We're pretty close. Now we've got volume. Right on. That's 31 litres. And that's about that extra litre and a half. Sparge, still got that there. It's taken a refrac reading. We're expecting pre-boil of 1034 at 30.1 litres. So I'm estimating there we're about 30.8 litres looking at it. And we're looking 1033, 1034 on the refrac. So pretty much spot on. I've calculated off 67% efficiency, so we seem to hit that pretty well. And this has just started to get a little bit of a movement under the surface, and this is where you really need to be watching very carefully, because you haven't got much room here, and this will boil over very easily. You can use a spray bottle of water. I haven't got one spare, so just going to use me paddle and just move around, agitate if I need to. And the break only lasts for about a minute, and that settles down, then you're right. But it can make a bloody big mess if you don't keep it under control. I've seen guys with stuff all over them and getting stuff in the electrics and whatnot, and it's messy. You don't really want to be dealing with it, so really keep an eye on it. Surface on 99, there's movement under the surface, so we're bloody close. So it appears we've hit our numbers pretty spot on, which I'm pretty happy with. Which means the efficiency number is pretty close. Volume numbers just need a little bit of recalculation, but I will put that litre and a half I got there into this boiler as we're going. Because that is in the original calculation, so I want to put everything in, so when I can get this into the fermenter and actually get a final reading, I can then go back and adjust on the full day. And again, this is going off markings on different vessels, using the Robobrew, using the markings in my boil kettle. One may be out, one may not. Okay, so we've got a nice, got the boil going there. I'm just going to keep this moving around just so it doesn't go too silly. I could switch off the 500 watt element. It looked like getting too crazy, but I think we've got it under control. Like I said, you let this go now, this will boil over in a matter of seconds and really just take off. See, they're now starting to really trying to foam up. I'm just going to keep that 500 watt off just to reduce the intensity a little bit. It should still keep boiling, which it is. There's enough heat in there to keep that going. That's starting to lighten up now already. Okay, and that's what's referred to as your hot break. You talk about hot break and cold break, that's your hot break. There's proteins and stuff breaking out as the temperature hits that boil. There's a scientific explanation and whatnot. I'm not going to go into it. I don't really completely understand it. So, but there we go. Boiled through. That's all good. We're done. So that's going along nicely. So I think I'll just leave the 1900 element on. I won't worry about putting the 500 back on. It does get a little bit too much of a boil, I think, with it there. So I'm boiling this for 90 minutes. Again, because it's almost a third of the lager malt, the lighter malt, just to be sure we're getting rid of it. Any DMS, I've had it enough times to not want to get it. So it's worth, for me, it's worth an extra half hour in the boil just to make sure we knock it out. Plenty of people don't believe in it, but having had it in beers, I know it exists, and I don't rely on what should be. Okay, we're coming up on half an hour into the boil, which will be 60 minutes. So we're looking for our bittering additions of hops. So we're getting our hops ready here, and looking at we're bittering with Pride of Ringwood. Obviously for the Aussie effect. We're looking at 15 grams. We're looking to get about 16-17 gram IBU of bitterness from. And Ringwood's always my go-to for an Aussie pale. Should be a bit high there, that's all right. Okay, so that's our 60-minute addition, which will be happening in a matter of 40 seconds or so. So I was just talking about going the spider. I pulled the spider out. Go the hot bag. I do prefer the bags. They do tend to move around a lot more in the boil. I think they get better contact. I've had a few beers that have been underbitted after using the spider, so I do try to avoid it. These hot socks are good. These ones I got from these come from Kegland, but I bought from Robobrew. You can still get them. They're reasonably cheap too, but they're good. They're a good size, and they've got plenty. So you get plenty of floating around and carrying on. So we're going to toss that one in. That's the half hour warning. So our next hop for 15 minutes. So we'll set that ready to go. So that next addition will be, the recipe says 10 gram of galaxy pellets. Now I've only got flowers, so I thought I still had some pellets in the fridge, but I can't find them, so we'll go to flowers. Now standing for it is about 10% more flowers than you do pellets, so going 10 grams, so we're going to want 11. perhaps is a little bit lower. This is these are 13.7. The recipe allowed 14.5, so we're looking for 11 or 12 grams of flowers. It's 10 there. 12. That'll do us nicely. We'll pop them into a bag on their own. Oh, they smell pretty bloody good, I'll tell you. And you know, if you can get yourself Galaxy flowers for doing these, you know, these Aussie sort of brews, get hold of them. They're better than using pellets, and they're readily available. You can generally get them without too much trouble. Yeah, yummo. Okay, so that's our second edition. We've got our third edition, hop edition is Citra for 10 minutes. We've got 8 grams of Citra. And this is just a bounce now of Citra and Galaxy. The two work together really well. The passion fruity side of the Galaxy goes really well with the citrus, with the lemon of the Citra, lemon and the orange sort of flavours. The two work together really well, complement each other nicely. So that's 8 grams of Citra. Looking for 13. Yep, the alphas are good. Now you always got to make sure you check what your alphas are doing when you're weighing your hops up, because I know what recipes. The software's got a set amount of AA, which is the generic. The actual hops themselves can be a little bit different once you get to them. Okay, so I did allow for 8 grams. So 8 grams of Citra there, which will be, like I said, 10 minutes. Yeah, just sticking these in the bag ready. Yeah, well, just be careful with your bloody hops. You keep them in the in some sort of water. I do often use these little containers, and I've got the lids, got some numbers on, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 through to 6, so I can stick these in. You know, if I'm going straight in, or sometimes I used a big grey bag and pull that out. But today I'm just going to use these hop socks, so I'll go through and just load them up, ready to go. So that was 10. We've got a 5-minute edition, which is another 10 gram of Galaxy. So, as I said, we'll go another around the 12 gram mark again with the Galaxy. The flowers aren't real heavy. You think you got bloody way more than what you have, but there's only 10 grams there. There we go. I'm going to just add that there. So that's 10 grams of Galaxy, which we're going at 5, and then we got another 8 grams of Citra, which will go in 2 minutes. And then a big 20 gram hit of Citra at flame out, and on this brew we'll go flame out. We'll go straight to cooling. I'll do my usual Robobrew cool, which will be a circulated cool through the immersion chillers in the esky, which will run us down to about 80 degrees pretty quickly, and then I'll run through with ice in the esky straight to and pump straight to the fermenter. So that works nicely. So that's our 5 minutes. So that's another 8 grams of Citra to 20 grams of Citra flame out, and then there'll be a 25 gram. Well, it won't be 25 gram. It won't be 25 because I've got 12 to 24. Yeah, it's about 25-26 grams of the leaf, which I use for dry hop on day 5. Not a massive dry hop. Again, this is a fairly light beer, so that dry hop will be enough to just give it some nice extra nose from Dextrose. Some people, a lot of nose comes from these late editions. So that's the hops. So we won't bother watching them go in. We might come back and have a quick look as we're transferring to the fermenter while we're getting the cooling going on. Boil's done. All the hops in. Set up the chiller. As I said, 2 coils. Just running straight back off the pump at the moment, back into the brew. And that's just going to start knocking some temperature off. It's in the 94 already, and that allows the those flame out hops a little bit of contact time as well. And we'll also start allowing the crud on the bottom of the Robobrew to clear from the drain. It's also going to sterilise and sanitise the inside of the chiller before we get it to lower temperatures. So I'll just let that run for a minute. I'll grab the fermenter. These are good to go. It's sanitised already. Taps off. So once this drops in temp a bit, we'll get some ice in there. And this will cool down very quickly. Right, we've got a good whack of ice in there now. We're down under 80. Just going to quickly switch the pump off. Now we'll move this hose into the fermenter. We'll dial back the pump. Start him again. Just let it slow flow. It's a little warm out at the moment, but as the ice melts it'll really kick in and start cooling down. This works really good. It's nice, it's quick, it's easy. Doesn't use running water everywhere. Well done, that reading down the place, getting us in the mid-20s. As that gets further down, we get more melt in the ice. We'll get that'll drop a little bit more. That's going to work quite nice for our finish. What we've got to do now is just let that continue to run and finish. Be pretty close to ready to pitch the yeast once we're finished. If we finished a little bit higher on the volume than our allowed for, but we'll see we're finishing the fermenter with our gravity finishes off at. I'll take those numbers, I'll stick them into the in the comments, into the write-up. BRY97 on this one. I was going to split it into 2 batches and do 2 splits, but I'm not going to bother. This one's going to go in an 18 litre keg, essentially the rellos, so I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to split this one around, just straight through, so obviously there'll be some bottles of this one when it's done, so we'll do some tasting in the coming weeks. But, yeah, I'll do the full wrap up in the comments, which we'll go through. Again, the full recipe, mash temperatures, volumes, and final gravity numbers. So that's it for today. Little John's a little bit early Christmas Pale Ale. If you want to comment, any questions, stick them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button down there so you get all the latest updates, like this one when we're doing tasting, stuff like that. So that's me for today. So until I see you again, good brewing.